Never realized the hurt I brought into your life. Never said how much I really care. Beyond excitement, Henry, I was supposed to be there in March 2020 doing publicity, shooting some Neighbours scenes and doing my Dr Karl in Conversation show, cancelled 3 times now. I'm so desperate to get back to the UK, which is like a second home to me, I'll be frank. But also the fact that I can land and bring my new Americana music in, work with Lachlan Bryan and the Wilds, do these amazing shows in amazing venues. Very, very fortunate. I hope people are going to flood down because it'd be the best opportunity for us to catch up and say hi as well.
So what can people expect from the album? And I assume that you'll be playing some new singles from the album in the shows as well.
Yes, the shows, in fact, will be, the set list will be every song that I've written for the album so far, with obviously having the Wilds playing with me, a superb band. So we're going to have a great sound. And the songs themselves, they're quite eclectic, a lot of them. They are very much in the genre of folk / country / Americana. The EP of Dispatches, the 5 tracks on that EP really showcase the variety of the music I've been writing. From standard sort of country duet with Elise Platt to right through to something like Time Was, which is a more ethereal song, which I wrote actually about 12 years ago. So it's quite eclectic. And in there, of course, I throw in a tribute to my hero, John Prine, who, of course, we sadly lost in 2020 to COVID. So it's quite a variety, I can promise people.
Yes, ambulance. Hurry. Oh, I'm on the Old Case Road. I'm having a heart attack. Look, I'm a doctor. I know the symptoms. Yes, I'm a few miles out of...
I must say, a lot of people will know you from playing Dr Kennedy on Neighbours. Now, the long-running soap is ending after 37 years. You've played Karl for almost 30 years. How special is the show for you? How do you feel that it's ending after all these years?
Well, the first thing to say is we filmed the last scenes on June the 10th. They were very, very emotional. It was a very, very tough day. But we ended the day really feeling very celebratory because the one thing I, in fact, in my speech reminded everybody in the studio, and there were hundreds of people in that studio, I can tell you, was just to remind everybody, let's be sad, of course, because, there's a lot of people losing their job, etc., but let's celebrate and be proud of the fact that we even got to go on this amazing journey. Neighbours has forged for me a connection with thousands and thousands of fans right around the world. People I've seen many times, people I've played gigs for at university who are now grown up and have kids, and we stay in contact. They join my website or whatever, and we stay in contact, and they come to gigs as well now. So, how lucky am I? I mean, I really feel like the luckiest guy on earth to have been able to go on that journey with Neighbours and have this kind of spin-off effect of having such a wonderful fan base.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that. The show is, it's been loved by so many for so years with, some massive moments and names starring in the soap as well. Why do you think it's captivated, people all over, especially in the UK? And do you have a personal moment that you can think of as well? But there's obviously so many probably to choose from.
Well, there's so many. I think one of the reasons why Neighbours succeeded so well is that it had a light touch, or it has a light touch, because of course it goes right through to August the 1st. It has a light touch, meaning, yes, there's some very, very serious, heavy drama in it, just like in all soap operas, but there's also quite a bit of comedy. And my favourite moment, I have to say, in the show, the episode I love the most is episode 7000, because that episode is simply Karl Kennedy being ridiculous. He loses a scratchy ticket worth $7,000 and ends up nuding up to go into Toadie's house because he's having a naturalist lunch and finds the ticket stuck to Toadie's backside. Delightful. It's silly as a wheel, and people love that. They love it. I loved it when Karl was a backyard farmer and carried a rooster around with him wherever he went. It's that sort of stuff that I think is the gold, and I think that's why a lot of people watch the show, because it just gave them a big laugh.
I do.
It is with great pleasure that I pronounce you husband and wife.
I think maybe not a lot of people will know this, but you actually appeared in the soap before you were Dr. Karl Kennedy. Is that right?
It was true. Greg Cooper, a mechanic. I did 3 weeks' work. I was there because Kylie Minogue, who played the apprentice mechanic, she needed a supervising mechanic, and they didn't have one, so I was there for 3 weeks. They did invite me to come back the next year and do a year's work on the show, and I declined it. Now, I don't know, gee, Major, if I hadn't declined that, I could have got into the Stockade and Waterman bloody stable and become famous. No, who knows? But I was doing theatre at the time, and so I was quite happy to wait. And I'm glad I did, because I waited 7 years and came back as Dr. Karl. I would love to see people down there at the Bedford, which is a beautiful venue. Ed Sheeran used to play there. And over at the Camden Club, which is a very new venue and very, very funky. I'm playing both sides of the Thames. Come on, people. One of those venues is going to work for you.
Sorry is the word we never found.